Supermarket.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Supermarket podcast, and thank you for joining us. Lee, what are we exploring today?
Hi, Jane. Hi, everyone. Well, today we're getting into something that might not sound glamorous at first, but stick with us because it's actually one of the most impactful daily choices you make. We're talking about paper.
Paper straws, notebooks, junk mail?
Now let's see if you can guess it. The paper we need most when we're in a panic.
Oh, toilet paper.
That's right. And the stuff you see every single day without really thinking about it. And here's the thing, the amount of paper you use, it adds up fast.
That's a lot of paper. Let's break it down. I actually just happen to have some statistics. In Australia, there are 26 million people who, according to research, use 95 rolls of toilet paper each per person a year. Now, think there's 52 weeks in a year, Lee. How does that add up?
That certainly adds up. That is 2.47 billion rolls a year.
Oh, wow. And made from virgin tree pulp. That's forest literally being flushed down the drain, Lee. And bamboo isn't more sustainable as we think, because most of it's made in China or Southeast Asia. And yes, they say it's natively grown, but they're actually farming it. And we've got a big rise in bamboo being used as toilet paper lately. But they use bleaching agents and chemical pulping to break down the fibre. And a lot of people don't realise that.
And we get it. Nobody wants to use scratchy bamboo paper that feels like sandpaper. But here's the good news. There's an option that is both soft and sustainable. We found something that takes it a step further, and that's where today comes in. They're from a brand called About a Dog, and their whole thing is recycling paper and products made in Australia, including toilet paper, tissues, and paper towels.
Oh, I love their paper towels. And so, Lee, not bamboo, not virgin wood. We're talking about 100% post-consumer recycled paper. So think like office paper, newspaper, things that we've used before, and we're repurposing it into something totally new. Is that what we're talking about?
Exactly, Jane. So, which is actually more sustainable than bamboo because no new material needs to be grown. It's about reusing what's already out there and keeping it out of landfill. Let's just take a second to appreciate About a Dog as they care about sustainability. Their papers are free from, so it's inks, dyes, scents, BPAs, and chlorine, making it safe for sensitive systems like septic tanks. And additionally, 50% of their profits from their sales are donated to support animal welfare organisations that do not already receive some sort of government funding. Let's go to Vince, actually, and show who was actually going to show us the difference between recycled and bamboo paper.
So today we're going to talk about breakdown, paper breakdown, what it means. So this really interesting thing in Australia where we have these really small pipes, or we have sewerage systems, or we have septic tanks, all these different systems where paper breakdown is really important. And there's this misconception that a lot of people think that recycled paper doesn't break down as well. So what we wanted to do today was take two products that you see in the shelves, that you see in the world every day, which is the About Dog Premium Recycled and just a generic bamboo paper product. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a classic breakdown test. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with the recycled. We're going to take 10 sheets of paper. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to wrap it. We're going to put it in the water. We're going to close the lid. And we're just going to shake it to simulate what a flush looks like. So just going to shake it. And as you can see, straight away, the paper turns completely to pulp. Now I've got a little drum here. I'm going to just pour it in, and you can see the paper completely breaks down and you've got 100% pulp. So if you look in closely there, boom, that's that brand new premium product. So the next product we're going to do is what is essentially a premium bamboo product. That's a premium 3-ply bamboo product that you see everywhere in the country right now. Brand new roll, open it, we're going to go 10. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to put it in here. Just going to shake it up to simulate flushing. Shake it up a little bit more to simulate flushing. Probably going to shake it up just a little bit more to simulate flushing. And you can see now we've got some breakdown. A lot more clumps in there. So if you're looking closely, you are getting breakdown. Obviously I shook it a lot longer. paper does break down, but it doesn't break down as quick. So the thing with recycled paper that no one really understands is we use short fibers. Because it's recycled product, we use a shorter fiber, which means faster breakdown. So when it hits the water, it breaks down quicker. But because we applied technology to the product, what we're able to do is give it strength and softness while still maintaining that insanely good breakdown that you need in rural Australia, that you need in the smaller pipes in the cities, that you need around this country. Because this country is kind of a little bit weird to other countries. We have no real stock standard pipe system. We have places like the Sydney City where the pipes are the smallest you'll see in the country. Then you've got septic tanks, and you've got places that use all different kind of stormwater run, all different kinds of things that we do in this country. So it's really important that paper breakdown matters. And that's why we really wanted to demonstrate today what the About a Dog premium recycled paper looks like when it breaks down, comparative to, like, say, a bamboo product.
Are you a cruncher or a folder of toilet paper?
Oh, that's a bit personal, Jane, which is going to say a lot about me because I am definitely a folder. You know, neat, organised and efficient, plus you actually use less paper.
Oh, sorry, I'm a scruncher. I hurl it off the roll. The majority of Australians, 68%, fold their toilet papers. Interestingly, 75% reported this habit are men compared to women, which is 63%. But it's changing. The younger people, 18 to 24-year-olds, are saying that they're folding, so 57% are folding, whereas over the 55-year-olds, 75% say they prefer folding.
I'm loving these stats, Jane, wherever you got them from. But now I did drop in for a chat with Vince at About a Dog, and we're going to talk about their mission, how they're sourcing and making their products, and why dogs end up playing such a big role in their brand.
So listeners, if you're watching, grab your coffee, or if you're walking and listening, then give your dog a pat and let's get into it.
No one focuses on what you learn from losing. We were losing money. How do we get through this? We've invested massively in Australian manufacturing. What we realised in manufacturing in Australia is About a Dog was kind of born sitting at a pub. We were sitting there, we were talking about wanting to do something together. We're animal lovers and we wanted to start this toilet paper business. What we did from there is we didn't know the name. So we had a few beers and we kind of did that old Australian thing sitting at the Erskineville pub, and Dom gets up and he goes, I've got to go see a man about a dog. And that's where About a Dog was formed. So that's where the name came from. And what we realised in manufacturing in Australia and using like FSC and 100% recycled is we can actually do things in this country really well. And we can compete with people that import cheap products or international things if we work with the right people and the right partners and have a really good social conscience in our business. That's where About a Dog was born, and that's kind of where we started.
And when was it born? When did the evolution begin?
We're 3 years old now, so
Wow.
It's been a 3-year pretty wild journey, you know, to go from never selling anything in that space and never really working with direct to consumer stuff and working with wholesalers like Box Divvy and working with this massive process. It's a massive learning curve. We learnt everything from where we make and how we make cores, sourcing, putting things together, investing in machinery and infrastructure, branding, you know. It's been a wild 3 years. A lot of failures. I think in business you learn a lot of your mistakes and investing in machinery and really caring. And everyone that you see in these conversations, not your conversations, but you know, obviously this is a filmed thing. Everyone says they care. It's really easy to say you care about something. It's really easy to talk about the unsupermarket concept, right? There's a different thing between saying these soft communities that talk about caring, and there's a difference between like saying, hey, what can we do better? And what can we do different? And how do we help more people? And how do we change this landscape that, I don't know, I love this country. It's like, it's the best country in the world. And I love everything about it. I love our culture. I love so many parts. I just want that community back.
Yeah.
You know, I had it when I was a kid. I grew up in farmland in Gerringong. I had that. I live in Erskineville now. I absolutely adore my community. And man, when I go to a hub and I'm helping someone load groceries into their car, it's just a different feeling that you don't realize you miss.
Yeah.
And with About a Dog, it's the same kind of concept for us. It's like we can do something cool and we can change the landscape. So I think we have a responsibility to do it because we can. We have these 3 pillars. It's environmental, it's Australian manufacturing, and it's animal welfare and wildlife charity. So we really wanted to kind of start partnering with these groundswell-based charities that probably don't get a lot of government support or get no government support. So what we found is essentially like majority of the money given from government goes to these major charities and these major organisations. And then you have these small places or these smaller organisations that get nothing. They work on volunteers. They work on individual donations. So the goal for us is like, how do we help those people? How do we get the money where it's needed? How do we do the most good in rural areas, in Melbourne, in Western Australia? You know, and even little things like someone would email us and say, hey, we've got an animal welfare raffle. Can you give us a prize? Little things like that.
And then on average, the percentage of what people pay for the product, what percentage then gets?
So we donate 50%.
50%. Okay.
50% of our net profits all go to animal welfare organisations, and we're really transparent on that. So, you know, I would have to look up the exact figures of where they are today, but it's, you know, I can see the scale of what we're doing. I know as a percentage of income, it's like huge for us. And we, you know, there's been times when in the first 3 months where we were losing money because that's what businesses do at the start. And we dipped into our own pockets and donated because we really care. It's really crazy. You know, everyone has this philosophy in business or in companies that like ours. We sell a lot of toilet paper. Great, that's what our goal is. I think everyone thinks that we're this like conglomerate, this massive organization, and you'll see the factory there, but the person packing the order is myself, my auntie, my cousin. You know, the emails, you're not emailing some AI robot, you're emailing me. You're emailing Jasmine, who you met before, you know, Dom, or to Jared. We're the ones that are on the front. You know, when we're having a meeting about things or when you're placing a purchase order, half the time it's me, it's our team. We're a really small team. So when we talk about the charity and the giving, it's not about these short-term stretch goals and these short-term, oh, we did this for this sake. No, it's like all targeted, and we work so closely with them. People can nominate charities to us. They fill in a sheet. We're constantly moving and evolving that side of the business. So I don't know, it's really cool I'm an animal lover. You're an animal lover. Most people are, I guess you're insane if you don't love animals.
The world has increased, well, Australia in particular. I think they say, isn't it, that New South Wales now is the greatest population of pet owners? Yeah. I think it's more dog owners, but
dog owners, but it is pet owners per capita.
It's a post-COVID phenomenon. So
it is.
Were you inspired by the toilet paper panic buying after COVID? Since, you know, it started 3 years ago, that was about the time that toilet paper became so important in people's lives.
Yeah, so it was a massive part of kind of realising this philosophy of toilet paper in this country and not really understanding the dynamic between the way supermarkets run things and the way that the manufacturing side runs, that disconnect. So we were really inspired by kind of saying, okay, like COVID is this massive thing and the toilet paper shortage, there's a million different ways you can look at that and comment on that. But what it kind of made us realise is being able to get things to people and distribution and way that works, we can do things so much better than we were as a country. Okay, so 100% recycled. We really care about zero deforestation. It's a massive part of About a Dog. But it's not just about being 100% recycled, it's about 100% FSC certified recycled. So FSC is the Forest Stewardship Council. It's essentially the gold standard of what recycled products is and manageable forests. And it's that little logo that you see on boxes, and you probably see it every day. But when we talk about being recycled, we care about the entire genesis of our product. We manage every aspect of it. FSC is a really great thing because it holds a small company like us accountable. We're audited, we're checked, we're cross-checked. Everything we say that goes into a process is factual because we're not able to, we hold ourselves to a really high standard through certification. Certification is essentially saying, hey, come audit me and make sure I'm telling the truth to my customers. If you have a recycled product that's not FSC certified, who is checking? Who is cross-checking? You know, consumer trust is something that should never be taken for granted. Things, doing what you say and making sure it's verifiable and certifiable is really important. And that's why recycled matters so much to us, because we really do believe that we can make a fantastic product with zero deforestation. And that's been the genesis, and that's been the real focus of what we do. Works with our carton manufacturer that we work so closely with, works with our raw material, our facial tissue, our core ribbon. Every aspect of what we do, we focused on how do we have no environmental impact or minimize our environmental impact as possible. We installed solar panels at the factory. So when we talk about recycled, it's really important for About a Dog as an Australian manufacturer to be like, how do we do this the best way we can?
how do we do it the right way? We pick the fibers, we work with the recycling mills, we work with every part from making a core. You know, like what ribbon goes into a core, you know, every little aspect we work on.
Have you always made the cores of About a Dog?
For About a Dog, we've always made the cores for About a Dog. We used to buy cores back in the day, but we realized we can make these. Yep. You know, I'm an incapable human at 99% of things that I do in my life. I'm suck at changing a light bulb. I have people around me that are absolutely brilliant, and it's none of this is done for me. I can talk, but other than that, I'm pretty not great. But toilet paper, I absolutely love. I am so obsessed with it. And it's weird because you know, when you move back into the physical world, you realize it's really cool to make things. When we were kids, I grew up and I was like, okay, I want to make something. And, you know, toilet paper is this really weird thing where, you know, I don't think my fiance is like going, my husband makes toilet paper, my partner makes toilet paper. Like it's probably not a leading comment, but by able to do social good and help animals and animal welfare with something that everyone consumes, I really am proud of what we've achieved. I think we have so far to go.
Yep. Just warming up.
I think we're just starting. We are just starting.
It's my favourite expression actually when I talk about Box Divvy is that we're just warming up.
Yeah. With About a Dog, we have two real big challenges. Australian manufacturing. What is Australian manufacturing versus offshore manufacturing? You know, cheaper things coming in from overseas versus making something here. That's a challenge that we have to face. You know, our competitors can bring in a container to Western Australia. We can't really serve Western Australia because it has to get from here to Western Australia, which is very expensive. That's a massive challenge, is the logistics. The second challenge is competing with international, massive billion-dollar, $250 million companies. So how do we offset those challenges? We work with key partners and we work openly and we communicate and we kind of go back to that old school mentality of let's look each other in the eye and let's have a conversation about paper.
Keep people out of the supermarkets.
It's exactly right.
Let's unsupermarket everyone.
It is, but that's exactly right, you know, and I know we spoke a little bit earlier and it was really important to me working with Box Divvy. You know, a lot of people come and ask, they're like, we want to distribute it, we want to do this, we want to do that. But for us, the ethos of what you and the team do, the ethos of what the Hubsters do, and I'm as an individual, I buy through Box Divvy as an individual. The real ethos of what you guys do, it's, I don't know, finding a tribe in life is so important.
That's it.
Find these people that think the same way as you, that care about this kind of uncorporate feeling of this really sanitized view of consumerism. I just hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. And that's why I love it.
You know, so toilet paper shortages and dog lovers. You're on a winner.
You were on a winner, yeah, right. So yeah, it is. And it's kind of this cool thing where, yeah, there is this two growth industries, this really cool concept of manufacturing in Australia. You know, look, I make toilet paper. It's not the most sexy industry in the world.
I think you're making it sexy, actually. So if anybody can do it, you can do it.
You can't wipe with that, at least not yet. Let me show you how we make toilet paper. What we've done at About a Dog is we've invested massively in Australian manufacturing. So we've bought a brand new tissue line that takes a giant parent roll, this giant roll you see here, this 2-ton roll, and we turn it into the small rolls that you see at home. So what we do essentially in manufacturing is we take this roll and we unwind it, we laminate it, we emboss it, we fluff it up and we bulk it up. We make our cores, so the core ribbon, the individual core that you see within a roll. So we take that, essentially, parts of ribbon, and we turn this ribbon into a core. So then what we do from there is we take the roll and we emboss it, we perforate it, we laminate it, and we turn it into a household consumed product that runs through this. And that's essentially taking a 2.8 meter roll and cutting it into the size that you see in a household. So if you capture it right now, we've got a roll coming out of the line, we've got some trim, and then we've got essentially a household product that you see at home. So our big part of our business was in investing in a new manufacturing line was how do we get through this process? And what we wanted to do is we wanted to partner with the best machine manufacturers in the world who actually are in Lucca, Italy. So we flew to Italy and we visited every machine manufacturer to find the exact product that we wanted to make the best machine we can for Australia. So we bring in this machine and it is a massive process. You know, we had to do every single part of the business, from upgrading our power to installing solar panels, laying a brand new foundation, a concrete slab, craning everything in. It was a whole thing. But what that allowed us to do is it really allowed us to re-examine everything we do in the business. And everything we do is genesis and focused around manufacturing. It's about environmental impact, it's about Australian manufacturing, and it's also about animal welfare. So really everything that we do is focused on those three core principles. So you've seen the whole manufacturing process. Now I'm going to show you the wrapping process. The process that, if you follow me over here, after we have a product that's ready for household consumption, we wrap it. What we're doing now is we're taking our individual wrapped product, our About a Dog labeling and branding and all that cool. This is our new wrapper for the premium product. This is my favorite part of the machine because it really takes something from a toilet paper that you just see in your house or that you see at a supermarket, and it really gives it that feel and that trust and that branding that is About a Dog. And this is what we're known for, and this is what we're really special at. So we talk, when we were inside, we're talking about difficulties. That's a jam, right? Manufacturing is not this easy, principled thing. You really care. It's not like you're an importer. When you're an importer, all the mistakes happen offshore. All the issues happen offshore. And you desensitize yourself to what you're actually making. You know, I liken it a lot to like farming. You know, there's a big difference between a factory farmed product or something that's free range, and you have to deal with weather and climates and all of this stuff. So when we're manufacturing, it is a very hard process. It's not as easy as picking up the phone or going to an importer and buying some product. You know, we're out here now and we don't hide anything, right? We're just saying, here's the process of production. Here are the headaches, here are the difficulties, here's what we do. And I think it's so important is we get connected again with the process of production. You know, it's so crazy to me that people don't know how things are made. It's crazy to me that they don't know the struggles of a farmer or the difficulties of a farmer. I love working with Box Divvy because it reintroduces that. We're a small family business. We're not some multinational conglomerate. You know, I'm the founder and I'm working with the machine daily, or my brother's working with the machine daily. By being connected to that process, we've taken this thing from buying a machine into where it is now. And my auntie who helps pack boxes, and my best mate Jared who does all our marketing, and my little cousin who helps do the tracking and answer emails. We are this really massive kind of community business that's kind of going to that next level, and I really love that we're part of that whole process. So when you see an About a Dog product, I think it's really important to know that we care. All right, so that's how we manufacture toilet paper right here in Sydney, Australia. So you've seen every part of the process. The last step is a finished product coming straight off the line, ready to go, delivered to your door. Cheers.
A huge thank you to Vince from About a Dog for joining us today. What they're doing is such a powerful reminder that even everyday choices like what toilet paper, paper towel, or tissues we buy can have such a big ripple effect.
Well, I would have never have thought, Lee, that so much went into making paper products. And I love that they're paper towels because they're absolutely huge. They're strong. And in fact, I only usually tear off one piece instead of grabbing a whole stack. So they're economical.
Now, we love that their rolls come in paper packaging. And those empty cardboard tubes, Jane, what to do with them? Don't toss them. We're going to show you a super DIY craft idea that you can make with your leftover toilet rolls.
Today we're stepping out of the kitchen to do some art and craft with toilet rolls. It's going to be lots of fun with the kids. Let's see what we come up with. What have you made? What's this one?
A jellyfish.
A jellyfish?
And a unicorn.
And?
A flower pot.
Lovely.
Okay, so I made this race car by cutting a little square in the top and cutting out some wheels, doing some lines on them.
What's this?
I did a robot with some paintbrushes. Little buttons, beep, boop, 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 boop. Hello, I'm a robot.
An arty robot.
Yes, an arty robot. I did a little Yoda here, painted it up here. Mummy drew and cut out some ears and I taped them and coloured them.
Dad, and that's what you want to do. But if you want to.
Well, our craft today, Lee, was such fun. And to reuse, we often throw away without thinking it. But it was so great because you could use it, during the school holidays, rainy days, or just even when you feel creative.
That's the whole spirit. Reuse, repurpose, and think how we live day to day.
And so whether you're a folder or a cruncher, a dog lover, or someone trying to tread maybe a little bit more lightly on our planet, let's support companies like About a Dog.
They are proof that business can be a force for good and still be fun too.
And clean.
Of course, clean, kind, and conscious. That's the motto of the day.
And thanks for watching or listening. And if you caught us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Podbean, remember, when you're reaching for the roll, think about where did it come from and where could it lead. Support local, support rescue animals, and when you're done, don't toss that tube, turn it into something beautiful.
Like a dog or a rocket ship or even a pencil holder.
Oh, the possibilities are endless. Stay crafty, stay caring, and stay kind. And remember, on Supermarket!